South Africans inherently are not against people from other nations.
The NEC does not characterize
the fact that some South African citizens have turned against their fellow Africans, looting their property, treating them inhumanely, and ultimately setting a deadline to leave South Africa has angered many Africans.
Thank you very much. I think that we should all accept that violence is a state-sponsored violence, because the people who are committing all these crimes are accompanied by the police, and the state broadcaster and the mainstream media is giving them unlimited airtime to spread hate and to incite violence. We've seen in many videos where people manhandle other people in the presence of the police, take them from one building to the other in the name of looking for drugs in the presence of the police. And in terms of the law of South Africa, once you handle me like that, if you are not a law enforcement officer, that is manhandling. It can even amount to common assault or even assault itself.
Just like the way Malema described, many Africans have questioned the position of President Cyril Ramaphosa, arguing that his administration is unwilling to protect African citizens and their properties from unlawful gangsters in the name of social movement. Many Africans raise two major reasons for their grievance with Cyril Ramaphosa's administration regarding the unlawful gangsters and their insecurity in South Africa. The first reason for their grievance with Cyril Ramaphosa's administration is many Africans are physically assaulted and their properties were dispossessed while the police officers were present. The second reason for many Africans' grievance with Cyril Ramaphosa's administration is the social movement organizers have held demonstrations in major South African cities, including Johannesburg, Durban, and other urban centers, openly warning other nationals, especially African nationals, to leave South Africa. More importantly, in last 3 months. Yet, in those occasions and others, the government of South Africa by President Cyril Ramaphosa has either remained silent or have not taken any meaningful legal action to stop this aggression, except issuing media statement. Until today, in many places in South Africa, the reality is that properties of foreign nationals have been looted, stores of foreign nationals have been broken into, and foreign nationals are either physically assaulted or brutally killed by unlawful gangsters in major cities in South Africa. Even though the government of the South Africa claimed to stop this unlawful aggression. By putting aside the role of the South Africa government in putting down the aggressive gangsters' action on foreign nationals, especially in Africans, let's focus on some of the social movement leaders and their speech, what they said during this mobilization.
One of the things Utampa are excellent on is making Americans feel how important they are being Americans, which is something true. We haven't mastered, Tina, as a country. Tina, we have sacrificed our country so much that everyone thinks they're entitled to this country that people died for. Africa.
Jacinta is one of the social movement organizers of Marching the March in this historic anti-African movement in South Africa. She made several speeches on immigration, economy, and the finance management of South Africa. Her statement expresses a nationalist perspective on citizenship, belonging, and entitlement. She suggested that Donald Trump strengthened Americans' sense of national identity and pride by emphasizing by being an American. She also stressed that South Africans have not mastered yet a shared national identity like Americans. According to her description, by everyone she means immigrants and Africans, are entitled to South African opportunity and resources. Now, the obvious problem with their perspective is that it can easily blur the lawful and unlawful immigration. It can also overlook the constitutional right afforded by South Africa to all people currently living in South Africa, and risk portraying foreign nationals collectively as less deserving of dignity and opportunity despite their diverse legal status and economic contribution in South Africa.
On violations of existing immigration, labor and other laws.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have papers to be here in South Africa?
Yes, I have my ID.
You have your ID?
Yes.
No. How did you get the ID?
I got my ID from Home Affairs.
Man, guys. Sir, where did you get the ID? When was it?
Since 2005.
It was 2005.
2000.
You came to South Africa to do what?
I came to
What is the main reason for you to come to South Africa?
in Nigeria.
No. You came as a refugee. What are you doing now for living here in South Africa?
I'm employing the South Africa.
What are you doing? Are you the one who's running the kawash? No, look, sir. Just to be gentle, because I'm an old man, we are here to tell you, according to Immigration Act 2002, Section 13, 15, and 19, you are not allowed to operate any kind of business, not unless you have a minimum investment of 5 million rand and above. It's either you invest to the existing business or to the new one, you register with the CIPC, with Revenue and Home Affairs. You must apply for a business visa. You are not allowed to operate in informal trading such as kawash. So now we're not asking you, you have to close this kawash now.
What the social movement organizers didn't understand is that I'm saying this because Jacinta, one of the social movement organizers, tried to compare the immigration sentiment in the immigration office work with South African. So this is great opportunity to remind her that South Africa's anti-immigrant sentiment, mostly Afrophobianism, is fundamentally different from America's civic tradition that she is trying to compare. Unlike South Africa, the United States, despite its historical and contemporary debates over immigration, was built largely by immigrants and the settlers who gradually became part of the United States' shared identity through allegiance to their constitution, rule of law, and common civic values rather than ancestry, linguistic, or family line alone. Second, in contrary to South Africa, which is gravely struggling with issues related to rule of law, America's national unity is strengthened by integrating those immigrants into its society and unifying them with the system through civic value, not by permanently defining them as outsiders, as we have seen in South Africa. I have a video that witnesses what I've just said, the American system and how they define immigrants. Let's listen to this video.
The descendants of 40 million people.
Are we together?
No, I'm listening to you.
Yes.
But the investment of this car wash is more than 5 million.
No.
For local business, not Nigerian.
You can't invest in such business. It's not for it's an informal trading. The informal is a benefit of the South Africans. No. We're not going to delay because we're going to.
So the tragedy in South Africa, the so-called social movement organizers have no clue what's going on in the world. The tragedy in South Africa in the name of social movement, the gangsters and half-dressed people on the streets, they don't understand this world. What we have seen by our eyes in South Africa is simply tragic, are the fruits of the silent government in South Africa. We blame the government because the government covered them to grow the sentiment of anti-Africanism on the soil of Africa. That is what we have seen. In any country, even the Western countries like the United States or the European countries, they didn't treat African immigrants the way they have been treated in South Africa. Social movement organizers in South Africa have little or no understanding that migration is a global phenomenon and a constant feature of human history, driven by the universal search for freedom, opportunity, and a better life. People travel from one corner of the earth to another corner of the earth. It had been happening in the past, it is happening now, it will definitely happen in the future as well. But countries with a stricter rule of law and a better immigration system try to integrate some of those immigrants into their societies, create a bigger market for their economy, and offer an immigrants an opportunity to become part of the story rather than just putting them outsiders and spectators. Even the Western countries, the United States and Western Europe, whose borders are crossed by tens and hundreds thousands of immigrants from Africa, do not let gangsters to set deadline for immigrants to leave their country, as we have seen in South Africa.